Okay, and welcome back again to this lesson on strings property. On strings method and description. Okay, so last we looked at was replace all, right? Let's look at yeah. Sorry, the last we looked at was compared to. So now let's look at replace all. What does this replace all do? It says it replaces all substrings that match the specific pattern for a given value. Okay, let's take a look at it. All right, so um, from what I see here, it just replaces the occurrence of a particular character or group of characters with a new one. That's simply what it does. Let me just demonstrate this here. For example, or let me just use the example. Okay, I'll copy their string, the string that's the example that they used there. I'll just copy the string that says hello world. Okay, string one initialized to hello world. All right, I'll comment these ones out. So let me just create another string and call this new string, and then I'll say string one dot replace all. Okay, so I'm going to replace world with all. Okay, that's exactly what they did here. All right, that's exactly what they did here. So I'm going to replace all world. So what I'm simply doing, what I simply did here is I invoked this method on this string. All right, I did string one, which is this dot replace all, and inside this replace all, I'm providing two arguments. The first one is world and the second one is all. What I'm simply doing is I'm saying to my program, I'm saying to my compiler, replace anywhere that you see world, replace it with all. Right, anywhere you see world, replace it with all. So if I happen to print this, instead of hello world, you see hello all. All right, and I can actually also replace letters. So I can decide that anywhere that hello letter L occurs in this string, I want it to be replaced by, let me say, comma, or just by a space, an empty space. Okay, if I run it, you'll see that I'm replacing L with empty spaces. Okay, anywhere there's L in this string, I'll have an empty space instead. So that's what this method is about. Split the string as matches of the specified delimiter and returns a list of substrings. Let's see what this is talking about. Example, string one, today, comma, is, comma, Thursday, right? String one dot split, comma, let me copy this and replace it with this. Okay, split okay, let me see why I'm having this error. A type A value of type list of string can't be assigned to a variable of type string. Okay, let me just call this dynamic and see what I get. Today, comma is, comma Thursday. Let me replace this comma. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what this split method does. Maybe you can search on it. It says split the string at matches of pattern and returns a list of strings. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, so what this does is it actually splits this string. All right, hold on. So it actually splits this string and encodes it to a list. Okay, so what you have now is no longer a string but a list. Okay, and um how do I put this? Okay, let me have my own string. My name is Ebuka. Okay, and I do string one dot split. Now what this does is that it converts my string to a list. Okay, and now what will be the items of this list? The characters in my string separated by wherever this particular thing appears, this particular character, this plus appears. All right, so my string is going to be broken up in these places. All right, and converted into a list just like I have here. So anywhere I have plus, right, I'm going to have my string broken up at those points and a list returned to me. So that's simply what that method does. Substring returns the substring of a string that extends from start index inclusive to end index exclusive. Let's look at the example. All right, so I have this example. Substring. All right, we are still using hello world. Okay, so if I say the substring string one dot substring, now why am I having this error here? It says the argument type string can't be assigned to the parameter type int. So it's simply telling me that I am passing a string in here, whereas what I'm supposed to be passing in for this particular method as an argument is an int or an integer. All right, so I don't know if I've already mentioned that in programming our indices begin at 0. All right, our indices begin at 0. What do I mean indices? It means indices refers to the position of our items or characters. For instance, in this string we have um, we have 11 characters, right? We have 11 characters. H is the first character, E is the second one, L, first L is the third one, second L is the fourth one, O is the fifth one, and so on and so forth. The space is the sixth one, all right? But um, these characters have an order, all right? And those order are not, how do I put it? They have an order called indices or index, which is the singular form of indices. All right. So the index of H is 0. That's the index of the first element is always 0, or the first character is always 0. The index of the second one, of the second character, is 1. The index of the third character is 2, and so on. Okay. So if I say this string, which is string 1 dot substring, and I pass in 6 here, what it's going to do is it's going to count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the sixth character is W. Okay, so it's just going to give me what? It's going to give me from the sixth to the end. It's going to ignore all these ones and just going to give me from index number 6 to the end. Okay, so here we go. Now this one thing about this method substring is that it can take more than one integers. All right, it can take 2 integers. So if I say 6, 9, or 6, I have 13. Is it 13? 5, 5. Yeah, 11. So let me say 6, 10. Yeah. So what this is going to do is it's going to take from the sixth character to the ninth character. It's going to ignore the 10th one. Okay, meaning that it's going to ignore 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to ignore D. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. It's going to stop at D. It will not print the 10th character, which is D. It's D the 10th. Yeah. Okay. So that's how this works. So substring is just it's going to give us just a sub part of a string. Alright. So that's basically its purpose. What other character have we not looked at? Alright, so string. So what this does is simply to return the string representation of an object. For example, if I have a data that is not a string, let me say I have an int. All right. I have this number. Okay. If I do number 1 dot to string, what this simply does is to convert this to convert this number to a string. All right. How do I know this? How do I know that this is a string now? This number being printed out. I can just do dot runtime type and see that it is now a string. Okay, so even if it's a double, it can still be converted to string. Right, even if I had a list. All right, what to string does is simply to convert whatever it is to a string. Okay, so that's simply what it does. Then code unit at, we have looked at code units previously, right? So code unit at, what it does is it returns the 16-bit UTF-16 code unit at a given index. So the difference between this code unit at and dot code unit is that this code unit at accepts an argument, right, which is the index, a given index of the string you're using it on. So let's say I have this, yeah, string one. I have string one already. Okay. And I want to check dot code unit at a specific index. Maybe I want to check the code unit of this O, lowercase o. What I'll have to do is I'll pass in the index of this O, which is what? H is 0, E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the coordinates at 7, which is the coordinate of O, lowercase o, is 111. Right. So that's it for this class. All right. And I would want you to go through this. This particular website I've told you where you can find it. You can just do a quick Google search, or just visit tutorialspoint.com/dat programming. Right, just search for this, tutorialspoint.com/dat programming, and it will take you here, and you can see all the different topics in that. We are going to talk about most of this in the coming days. All right, so um in the coming lessons, I mean. So you can click on anyone and read up about it, study about it. Okay, so this is where we are on strings, and we have finished it already. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is numbers. All right, I'm going to talk about numbers in the next lesson, and after numbers I'll go to boolean and lists. All right, and try and cover all the different data types we have in that programming one by one. So thank you so much for your time. You have a lovely day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Thank you.